Travis Kelce has absolutely got the entire Kansas City Chiefs locker room buzzing with energy right now. The news coming out today has been nothing short of jaw-dropping, leaving everyone on the edge of their seats. Despite their undeniable bond on and off the field, there's always that lingering possibility of tension, even between Kelce and his powerhouse teammate, Patrick Mahomes. After all, in the high-stakes world of professional football, things can change fast, and a rift can form even between the strongest of alliances. But as of now, these two stars are still as tight as ever, dominating both the field and the headlines. This season, the Chiefs are on an absolute tear. They're storming through the competition, playing at a level that has fans and analysts alike wondering if they're on track for another Super Bowl victory. With the way they're performing, it's hard to deny the chemistry and determination within this team. The defense is stepping up. The offense is firing on all cylinders. And with Mahomes and Kelce leading the charge, it feels like they are destined to go all the way again. The question on everyone's mind now is, can anyone stop them? If this momentum keeps up, the Chiefs might just repeat as champions and cement their legacy in NFL history. What do you think? Could we be witnessing another legendary Super Bowl run? Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins are a duo that hasn't been talked about enough, and I have a solid reason for saying this. If you look at the Kansas City Chiefs team overall, everything is coming together. The offense has looked better since Hollywood Brown's return. However, two players who haven't gotten as much attention are Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins. Travis Kelce hasn't been discussed much because, understandably, he hasn't been the same Travis Kelce during the regular season that we're used to seeing. After all, a 34-year-old isn't going to keep putting up huge yardage numbers year after year. But let's be real, Kelce is still incredibly talented, and he will prove that in the playoffs. He always shows up when it matters most. There's no doubt that when it comes to the postseason, Kelce and Mahomes are going to perform. Any Chiefs hater knows this. Now, at DeAndre Hopkins to the mix, he's even more hungry than Kelce. That's not to say Kelce isn't hungry, but Hopkins is chasing his first ever Super Bowl ring. That's a huge motivator. So Hopkins is going to give it his all during this playoff run. He's playing for his first ring, and that's something he desperately wants, especially as he nears the end of his career. The reason I consider them a duo rather than just highlighting Kelce Mahomes or Hollywood Brown is that Kelce and Hopkins have similar roles on the field. They both excel in short and intermediate routes, finding soft spots in the defense. They catch short passes and turn them into bigger gains. This dynamic is crucial for the Chiefs offense, especially when all of them are on the field at the same time. Kelce, Hopkins, Mahomes, and Hollywood Brown. Defenses will have a lot to worry about because they won't be able to cover all the bases. Teams will have to account for Hollywood Brown and Worthy deep, while also dealing with Kelce and Hopkins on those short to intermediate routes. On top of that, Mahomes and Andy Reid love to get creative with special plays, which makes the Chiefs even harder to stop. This playoff run will be exciting, and I can definitely see the Chiefs coming out strong against the Houston Texans. I expect them to get off to an early lead and make a statement. Remember, Mahomes was snubbed from the Pro Bowl this year, which in my opinion is unfair. He should have been there for leading his team to a solid record. He didn't get any All-Pro votes either, so he has a lot to prove. This likely bothers him, but instead of letting it weigh him down, I think it will make him perform even better. It's tough for any quarterback to recover when you lose your number one and number two receivers before the season even begins. But for Mahomes to overcome that and still lead the Chiefs to the playoffs is impressive. The Chiefs are healthy and ready for a championship run, and they deserve it. This team will be difficult to stop, with Hopkins and Kelce on intermediate routes and Worthy and Hollywood Brown stretching the field deep. They're going to present a lot of challenges for opposing defenses. As for the Texans, while their defense looked tough against the Chargers, they won't be able to replicate that success against the Chiefs. Playing in a dome is a whole different experience from playing in the cold at Arrowhead. It's going to rattle rookie C.J. Stroud and the rest of the Texans. They won't be ready for the pressure of playing in that environment, and it's going to affect them. It's going to be tough for any team to succeed against the Chiefs at Arrowhead, especially in the playoffs. It's a hostile environment, and the Chiefs have no problems playing there. Anyone who faces them will definitely be at a disadvantage. Arrowhead's freezing cold, and the noise from the crowd is deafening. The pressure will be on, and CJ Stroud, who's still a rookie, is not going to get it done against us. I'm sorry, but he's likely going to throw a lot of interceptions, just like other quarterbacks have done against us. Herbert, Jordan Love, and others. Stroud's going to come to Arrowhead and probably throw 3 or 4 picks, and we'll end up dominating the Texans, winning easily. Looking ahead, I predict that the Chiefs will face the Baltimore Ravens next. While we match up well against them, it will still be a tough game because they have Derrick Henry now. But I think the Chiefs will pull through and beat the Ravens. After that, I expect the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl, where they'll likely beat the Lions. The Chiefs' offense is a scary sight for other teams. The fact that no one has film on this offense with all the new players makes it even more intimidating. The offense has been missing key players for a significant portion of the season, so no one has seen Hopkins, Kelce, and Hollywood Brown all on the field at the same time. That gives the Chiefs an edge. If they stay healthy and avoid injuries, I don't see any team stopping them. Hopkins and Kelce will dominate on the intermediate routes, and Worthy and Hollywood Brown will be deep threats. It's going to be too much for any defense to handle. The Chiefs' offense will overwhelm opposing teams, and they will continue to be a nightmare for any defense facing them. If you enjoyed this video, I apologize for the lazy delivery, but I had to get it out for you. Now, as the Chiefs prepare for the divisional round of the playoffs, they're in one of the best positions possible thanks to the outcome of the AFC wildcard round. I'll dive into why that's the case, plus some recent coaching interviews and roster moves the Chiefs have made. Speaking of the Chiefs news, late last week, offensive coordinator Matt Nagy interviewed for the New York Jets' head coach vacancy. I'm not sure if he'll land the position given how many candidates the Jets have already interviewed, but you never know. The Jets also interviewed assistant GM Mike Borgonzi for their GM position. Borgonzi has played a key role with the Chiefs, climbing the ranks to become the right-hand man to GM Brett Veach. He oversees the Chiefs' college and professional scouting operations and plays a big role in roster management, including free agency, waiver claims, and trades. If he moves on to the Jets or Titans, the Chiefs might have to fill his position. Coaching interviews didn't stop there. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo had 3 virtual interviews on Friday, one with the Jets, one with the Raiders, and another with the Jaguars. Spags has expressed interest in becoming a head coach again, and these interviews confirm that he's serious about it. While I'd hate to see him go, I hope he finds success, unless it's against the Chiefs. If Spags becomes the head coach of the Raiders, I'll be sick to my stomach for years to come. But whatever happens, we'll see how things unfold. Wherever he ends up, the 4-time Super Bowl champion Steve Spagnuolo will be a valuable asset to whichever organization he joins. Whoever the next offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs is will have big shoes to fill. I selfishly hope Spags stays in KC because the consistency of this coaching staff has been an underrated aspect of the Chiefs' success. Of course, there's a lot more that contributes to the making of a dynasty since Mahomes took over as QB1, but we all know how valuable Coach Spags has been to this organization. Don't worry about the Chiefs coaching staff losing focus for the divisional round due to these interviews. This was allowed to happen only because the Chiefs were on a bye week. No more interviews can take place until the conclusion of the Chiefs season, which hopefully won't end until they win their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. Next up, the Associated Press recently released their All-Pro honors list on Friday, which was decided by a national panel of 50 media members. Out of these 50, 4 Chiefs players were recognized. 3 of them were named first-team All-Pro. Left guard or left tackle is needed. Joe Thuney, center Creed Humphrey, and defensive tackle Chris Jones. Cornerback Trent McDuffie was voted second-team All-Pro behind Patrick Surtain II and Derek Stingley Jr. Some fans are upset about who made the list or who didn't, but there's not much that can be done. I would have loved to see Trey Smith on there. He deserves it, and the Chiefs should do whatever they can to keep him around, as he's a free agent after this season. That's a topic for another day. You could also argue McDuffie should have been a first team selection, but I'm still happy for the players who made the list. I'm also happy for the fan, William Ashburn, who refused to let Chiefs cornerback Jalen Watson shovel his driveway last week. Ashburn said, "No, sir, don't shovel your own driveway," when Watson asked for a shovel on X. Instead, Watson ended up sending Ashburn his address, and William showed up at his house to shovel his driveway. In return, he received a signed, authentic Jalen Watson jersey, signed by Watson himself. Obviously, Ashburn didn't do it for the jersey. He simply helped out a fellow Kansas City resident and a player who's done great things for the team. Then Chiefs players returned the favor over the weekend when offensive linemen Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith were seen helping a woman get her car unstuck after the ice and snow had piled up. This is probably the best type of content you could ask for, showing the true community spirit of the Chiefs. The icing on the cake came when Patrick Mahomes' family announced the birth of their third child, Golden Ray Mahomes. Patrick had said after the Christmas win that his goal was to secure a first-round bye so they could have their baby before the divisional round of the playoffs, and that's exactly what happened. Now that their baby is here and both mom and baby are safe and healthy, Patrick can focus on the task at hand this weekend, getting a big win, whether you're a new customer or not. This includes Chiefs games, other NFL playoff games, sports, concerts, and festivals. SeatGeek makes the process easy by rating tickets on a scale of 1 to 10. So just look for the green dots, which indicate good deals, while red dots mean bad deals. No matter how many times you bought tickets with SeatGeek, the code HPC1 will work. So open up the app, add the code, and get your tickets before it's too late. Lastly, on Friday, the Chiefs signed 2 players to reserve/future deals. A reserve/future contract doesn't count until the new league year and also doesn't count against the salary cap at the time of signing. This is common for free agents or players who were on a practice squad for teams whose seasons have ended. Once a player signs a future contract, they are no longer free to negotiate with other teams and can sign as many contracts as the Chiefs need. The Kansas City Chiefs are poised to dominate the NFL playoffs, and there's a lot to be excited about with this team. Despite their incredible 15-2 regular season record, it feels like the Chiefs are still flying under the radar. People are either underestimating them or, more likely, just afraid of another Chiefs championship. When you look at this offense, it's hard not to get excited. Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, and Travis Kelce, along with Patrick Mahomes leading the charge. That's a scary lineup. Add in the talented backfield with Rue and Kareem H., and it's clear that the Chiefs' offense is in top form. This is exactly what the team needs for a potential three-peat, and it's hard to see anyone stopping them. As for the divisional round matchup against the Houston Texans, the Chiefs are out to make a statement. They don't want any close games. They need to dominate from the start. Even if the game stays close for a while, they need to make sure they run away with it in the fourth quarter. It's all about making a statement that says we're here to win it all, so when they move on to the AFC Championship, they'll be more motivated and ready. Now, some people are concerned about the Texans' defense, but the Chiefs are a different beast when it comes to offense. Patrick Mahomes doesn't care how good your defense is. Over the years, the Chiefs have proven time and again that they can beat the best defenses in the league, including those of the Bills, Ravens, and even the Eagles and 49ers in the Super Bowl. In the playoffs, it's all about Mahomes, and no defense is safe when he's on the field. Defenses are more worried about facing him than the other way around. This team is in great shape, and now it's up to Andy Reid to execute the game plan. Reid has proven time and again that he's capable of calling the right plays in big moments, and this playoff run will be no different. The only downside is that it's still only Tuesday, and we have to wait until Saturday to see the Chiefs take the field. But don't worry, you'll stay entertained with more content leading up to the game. The road to the Super Bowl is just beginning, and this Chiefs team is ready to make it happen. End of the video, guys. See you in the next video.